Welcome to the show, All Things Writing. I am your host, Bryan the Writer. Let me take you on a journey through my writing life and introduce you to some of the amazing talent that exists in the writing world. Whether you are looking for a little advice or just to catch an interesting interview, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All Things Writing starts now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to All Things Writing. I'm your host, Bryan the Writer. I want to thank you for joining me today. A couple things I wanted to talk about in terms of the writing world, my writing life, what's kind of going on with me. The first thing I want to talk about, let me give you a little update of what's going on with Bryan the Writer. Well, presently I have a book out there with Jumpmaster Press that is going to come out next year. So, the year that's starting here in like 20 some odd days. We're going to be starting a new year. So it's going to be welcome to 2026. And then we'll get some time frames to release to everybody to when the new book's going to come out. I'm going to, of course, have some book launch events, I'm sure. Probably a few around here that people can come to. It'll be great fun. I can't wait. I'm very excited to be able to show this to the world. More to come. It's exciting. I'm also working on a couple of work in progresses. I actually recently sent in a short story for consideration. I don't know where that is in the process. Maybe it'll get picked up. Maybe it won't. It's short stories are a challenge for me historically because I don't like short form fiction. I prefer kind of the longer writing process, the longer writing projects. They're fun for me. I enjoy them. I enjoy creating the worlds and kind of stretching out into them and having some fun and discovering new ways that my characters sort of keep me on my toes. That is so cool to me. Anyway, it kind of keeps me going. Let's see what else is going on in my writing life. That's kind of it. I've always got a work in progress, something going on that I'm working on. And so there's always new things coming down the pipeline for me, which reminds me. So if you are if you're an avid writer and you're writing, remember, it's always good to have a project that you're working on, a project you're thinking of, and a project you're finishing up. So you've kind of got three things, right? Boom, boom, boom. There's always short story opportunities that pop up that you can always send in stuff for. So, you do what feels right at the time. But I want to talk to you about something. What happens when a project just doesn't feel right? Kind of the main topic for today. Look, I'm not advocating anybody give up on a project. I'm not advocating you sit there and you say, oh, that's it. This project's gotten hard. I don't want to do this. It can happen. It can happen to anyone. You can get yourself into a situation where you don't exactly know where a storyline is going anymore, and you've sort of lost your way. There are two ways to deal with such a project. You can set it aside, go work on something else for a while. You never know what things might inspire you, and though that inspiration, like a short story or maybe a longer idea that you've been working on developing, that could spur you back to your original project, a thing you kind of set aside for a while. Maybe not a bad idea to kind of keep things rolling. I'm not talking about writer's block or anything like that. I'm talking about you just are not sure where that project's going. Had that happen to me recently. I got 24,000 words into it, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this project. So I started working on something else. There is no shame in abandoning a project. It happens to all writers of all ilk. Sometimes your concept in your mind just doesn't materialize on the page. It is not to say give up. I'm not telling you to give up. As a matter of fact, quite the opposite. I think sometimes, as the old saying goes, absence can make the heart grow fonder. And when that happens, when that absence, or when you have that problem with that book and you're kind of like butting heads into it, sometimes putting it aside is the right choice, the right thing to do. So don't be afraid to necessarily put something aside and just decide to go work on something else for a little while. I've done it. And honestly, sometimes it was it's the thing that got me back to my original project, because it got those creative juices flowing again. So anyone who's followed the show for any period of time knows I love the ghosts. Love me some ghosts. I've done some ghost hunting. Actually, I have a ghost hunt scheduled for February of this next year. And actually, there's another one that Brian Grover, who is the other half of the Killer Bees, when we do shows together, we're the Killer Bees. Because it's Brian and Brian. Get it? Killer Bees. Ha ha ha. Anyway. We love doing the ghost hunts. The ghost hunts are a lot of fun. You can see all kinds of cool things happen on those ghost hunts. Some things that we just can't explain. There are some things that we definitely try to debunk. We try to figure out what makes a noise happen. I tend to rule out more evidence than I include. There's a lot of things that I read, that I look at and go, okay, well, it could have been this. It could have been this. If I keep saying it could have been this, like something else, then the evidence is no good. It doesn't work. So anyway, but it's because of that, I like to pick up and read books on ghost hunts. For those of you who travel around the Virginia area, Virginia, Maryland, those kinds of places, you're going to be familiar, especially in the horror world, with the name Pamela K. Kinney. Pamela has been a long-time friend of mine. She's great. She's a phenomenal person. Really interesting. She does a lot of ghost books. She does a lot of ghost hunting, honestly. And she's a wealth of knowledge on the topic. She's been doing ghost hunting for a while, so she's got some really cool stuff. She's got some really interesting books that she's written on the topic. But I'm not talking about Pamela today. No. I'm actually going to be talking about another friend of mine. Part of the reason I love ghosts, ghost hunting, paranormal stuff is because I really like the history. History fascinates me to no end. I was actually just in Old Town Alexandria looking at the old. Sometimes I go down there and just walk around. The old buildings are what I love. When you look up at the glass and you see the single pane of glass and it's all wavy, and you know that glass has been in there for, I don't know, maybe 300 years. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. That's cool history. When you look at a house and say, oh, well, that was for example, you can go downtown Old Town Alexandria and you can see the house where Robert E. Lee was a boy. You can go to Mount Vernon, where George Washington called home. You can go to, there's just a plethora of places you can go. You can go to Mary Washington, George Washington's mother. Sorry, that was my phone. George Washington's mother. Now, the two were very, very strong personalities. And while I think, while everything I've read suggests that General George Washington, President George Washington, loved his mother, I don't know that the two could be in the same room together. He had a very specific way of doing things based on his mindset. She had a very specific way of doing things based on her mindset. And while the two loved and respected each other, I don't think they could. They probably fought a lot because it was two strong heads butting together. At least that's the conclusion I've reached from some of the reading. There's another friend of mine out there in the world who absolutely loves the topic of the Mary Washington house. And until recently, she'd worked up there. She's a phenomenal investigator, a phenomenal writer, by the way. And she recently released a book Haunted Fredericksburg. This is written by Michelle Hamilton. This is part of the Haunted America series. Haunted Fredericksburg does something that I absolutely love in any of these books. It gives you a lot of the background of the locations that they're talking about the hauntings taking place. So it's the history. It's what happened there, why it happened there, how it happened there, the history of the house, the history of the occupants, why that all mattered, why these places matter in the fabric of America. It's not to be, there's no way I can possibly tell you everything that's in this book that would make a lot of sense to you. But I can't tell you everything that's in this book in a way that would be comprehensive enough to make sense, is really what I should say. But let's talk about some of the locations that are in here. Let's see, we've got the Mary Washington House. Of course, that is like a big one for her. The Rising Sun Tavern, which I've actually been to, by the way. Pretty neat place. The Hugh Mercer Apothecary Shop. Interesting. I did not know until I was reading Michelle's work here that was actually not where Hugh Mercer ran his apothecary house his apothecary house out of. It was a different shop entirely, a different building entirely. But she kind of goes through a little bit of the history of Hugh Mercer and the history of the building that was there, and what actually took place there. I'll give you another one here. St. George's Episcopal Church, which I have never actually been to, so I need to take time and go out there. Extremely well written, very well edited. Haunted Fredericksburg is an absolute treasure, an absolute delight to read. I still need to write up a review on Amazon, which I will do. Remember, reviews feed writers. It's very, very important that you leave a review whenever you read a book, be it mine or someone else's. And remember, if you hate my books, and Stephen King wrote it. No, I'm kidding. I don't want Stephen King to come and get mad at me. One of the things that I thought was really cool is there was a mention of the Belgrove Plantation, which is down in King George's. I'm actually going to be there doing an investigation in February. It's going to be myself, Brian Grover, and Thomas. So after we have that investigation done, if we get any really good stuff out of that, we'll, I'll make another video just like we did with the West Virginia hospital, and we'll get that captured for you. I think we need. So anyway, Haunted Fredericksburg by Michelle Hamilton. Buy it. It's really, really good. If you're even remotely interested in the history of Fredericksburg and the history of really what's the cradle of the United States, this is an excellent book to get your hands on. A lot of cool places to visit in here. And what I really love, and I think one of the things that really sort of shines through, Michelle loves history. She loves the history of these buildings. She's not just talking about a building, a haunting, move on to next place. You can tell when a writer's done that. These are places she's been to and she loves. She loves the stories. She loves the history. She's done her research. She digs into it. She claws at it, tooth and nail. Yeah. Haunted Fredericksburg. It's definitely pretty high on my recommendation list. So that's really all I've got for all things writing today. I figured I would just keep this a short video, which I've done a good job. It's not one of my 1 hour long monsters where I do an interview, but we'll have a couple interviews coming up very soon anyway. But all right, well, thanks for watching. You guys have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful rest of your week. This is Bryan the Writer signing off. This has been another amazing episode of All Things Writing. If you heard something that got your wheels spinning, check out the links in the show notes. Also, please follow the show and remember to leave those reviews. Those simple acts of kindness mean the world to us. Hop on over to BryanNowak.com, and that is Bryan with a Y, and check out my latest novels. I'm on Amazon or wherever you buy your ebooks. And as a reminder, the music you heard on the show today was used under license from the artist Ryan Ancona. Thanks for listening to the show and have a blessed day.